yeah, chasing your dreams. DJ B, turn the place, everything. Marriage and relationships are not about rings. Trying to raise a family is so insane. He tries to keep politics off the brain, but sitting in the questions he might just scream. Business and entrepreneurship is his thing.
There is society and there is reality.
That's my dad. That's my dad.
Welcome. I'm your boy, BBT. And you can ask me anything. I'm going to jump right into it today. No tweets today. I just want to jump right into this Kyrie Irving explosive and viral IG live that he did. I just want to share my thoughts as I go through the video. And then I'll say my commentary in terms of my issues I have with millennials for later. But I will say this. I have this belief that once you are awakened, you go through a few transformations, meaning you understand that a lot of things have been lied to you. You understand, you go through the upset phase in terms of damn. And then you go through that phase of just healing and just wanting to help, but understanding that all of those phases, sometimes people start to look at you with the side eye and look at you funny. But anyway, let me go through this video and then I will provide my commentary throughout.
Wasn't gonna be enough, yo.
Hold on, let me do this really quick. Okay, yeah, let me do this. And then let me play this.
Wasn't gonna be enough, yo. Peace to each one of y'all. Sending my prayers up to the Creator, to our ancestors for healing. We all need it about now. You know, they call this the Lord's Day in certain religions, certain parts of our society. So I'm gonna pay my respect and my homage. But shoot, what do I have to tell y'all? Y'all making me forget. Nah, I'm joking. No, I'm just trolling. Shoot, I gotta share something with y'all. It ain't no bad news or anything like that. It's just a reality, all right? And I'm gonna ask y'all from my soul to yours, please do not get distracted out here. Please do not fall victim to what the system is putting out there. It's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of trauma going around. It's a whole lot happening in our world. And the system wants you to be depressed, wants you to be in a state of being that is low vibrational. All right. It's a change and it's a shift in what's going on in our world right now. And I'm letting you know, I'm not being arrogant or anything like that, but from 1981 to 1996, this millennial generation, I hope y'all know, we're here to shake some shit up. We're here to shake some stuff up. But in order to shake some stuff up, right? And the next generation, Gen Z, is going to come right after us. So they're watching us, right? Then you got my kids' generation, which is very young. But I got on here to say this. Please do not get distracted out here emotionally, spiritually, because the system itself is, is dying. Is dying. Old ways of living, the old ways of doing things. It's not going to last for too much longer.
So when you say things like the system is dying, I've been saying this for a while. I believe that although social media has created a lot of fakeness, a lot of misrepresentation of what really is going on, it has also exposed a lot of the lies. It's given us access to people who see life, who are questioning life like we're questioning them. And at the end of the day, in the past, you were able to hide those lies in so many different formats. Now the truth is out there. So now if there's someone that is pushing a thought and you're like, damn, I had that thought too. Now you got 10, 20, 30 other people that are saying and understanding the same thing. So when he says things like, from my opinion, when the system is dying, they can no longer hide the reality of what is going on. And so therefore, yeah, it's dying. So let him keep on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And I don't know anything, right? I don't know all the answers to what's going on, but I'm saying this to y'all specifically because it's important that those that understand, that are aligned and what's going on around here, that y'all paying attention, because without us making a change right now and shifting our consciousness, our kids they're gonna fall victim to this system too. And the system I'm talking about it's a myriad of objective topics that we follow since we were kids, which is sex, love, relationships, religion, culture, class, finance, entertainment, media, social platforms at this point. Please do not fall victim to these things. That
once again, when he talks about, he breaks it down. I know from my experience, when you become awakened, you start to question money. You start to question the whole concept of debt. It's almost like everything you guys were telling me I should do, it only puts me in debt, and it makes me more in your control. When he talks about sex and different things like that, although I do believe that you can find the one, I have my issues with marriage and why that construct is the way it is. Why is it so easy to get in and so terribly hard to get out? When you just talk about just so many different things, I've questioned sports. I've questioned a lot of the media tactics to control us and to distract us. So therefore, once you start to, your eyes, once you become awakened, you start to realize, like, damn, I got to start questioning everything. And the moment you start questioning everything, that's when all the answers start to appear, in my opinion. So let me let them go.
are being manipulated and controlled, please do not. Please do not. We have so many truth tellers out here that are doing the right things. And I could point them out, but you have to have your own level of discernment once you're consciously awakened to what's really going on. And I could go on and on, but look, I have to speak in general topics because it gets too mixy. You know what I'm saying? But I hopped on here specifically to share something with y'all. My generation, the millennial generation, we got to be better. We got to be better. My millennial generation.
And so I'm not too far from the millennial generation. I was in 77. And I'll talk about that towards the end of why I feel like my generation do have a leg up and a leg down in a lot of regards to the millennials, because we kind of experienced the before, during, and obviously what's going on now. So we have a perspective, if we are awakened, that we seen it before all of this unfolded. So, but just once again, he's stressing the 81 to 96. I believe that's the years for the millennium generation. And I love that he keeps stressing that, and he'll go into that more a little bit later. So
we got to be better. We know too much of the truth. And sometimes that will put us in places where we're fearful or we have anxiety. And in order to make an impact out here that is generationally sound, where it lasts for not just one generation, but for 7 to 10 to 20 generations now, we have to break free mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do it, but we have people out here that are willing to extend a helping hand and do it, And I went live on this main page because I know that, some people are going to take this as, oh man, this guy's, what is he talking about now? This guy thinks he's, and it's like, it's not even about that. I don't even have energy to give that to give to that today, or any point in my life. But I will tell you this, we got to be better. We have to protect our youth. We have to protect our ways of life. We have to protect the kids that are looking up to us. So my millennial generation, this is a call out to you. No, real talk. This is a shout out to you. As Gen Z's watching and our older generation is waiting for us to take control of the wheel and lead our world into new places, new ways of thinking, because it's not happening, you know, without the proper techniques and strategies. It's not happening if we're not prepared. So, you know, and I say my generation because the millennial generation is because we help create a lot of these social platforms. We help create a lot of these trends. We help create a lot of these, you know, new waves of doing things. Like, I'm not saying that arrogantly, but from 1981 to 1996, this is specifically for y'all. Please, 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 please educate the youth the right way. Please, please. We are starseeds, just like Gen Z is, just like our elders were. We are starseeds. We returned here for a bigger purpose that many people won't understand. And a lot of this Instagram live will go over people's heads, but that's okay. That's okay. Not everybody's going to get the fight. Not everybody's going to get into the war. Not everybody's fearless out here. You know what I'm saying? I'll be more specific when I say this. I'm getting a lot of wisdom from the elders, and they're telling me that this generation that I'm in, and I'm talking about born from 1981 to 1996, that if we don't get our stuff together and start making a conscious effort to change the ways of living out here, we will be doomed. If we keep living the same lifestyle that we looked at when we were kids and saw like, oh, this is popping. Oh, this is one of the people I need to follow. Like, think about social media in general. Like, you guys are we're just following. And I say you guys, no, we are just following people. We're just following people. That is a level of influence that can be dangerous.
So yeah, I definitely think it's very dangerous. I think that the problem with following a bunch of people on these social platforms is the fact that a lot of them are not spewing real life. A lot of them are spewing things to get their pockets fat. A lot of them are spewing things that you want to hear based on the algorithm. A lot of them are not living those lives, and you become obsessed with something that's not real. And so therefore, I am glad, and I'm almost when I see the confidence, and in Kyrie's word arrogance, he's saying he's not arrogant, but a lot of times it comes across as arrogance from millennial. I applaud it because you guys are very confident, but then it's almost like you think you have the answers when you don't. The reality of life is real life is still real life. You got to have something. You got to build something. You got to be working towards something. You can't just pretend like you're doing it, and that's what happens on social media. So if you're doing that and then you're following that, when it's all said and done and real life really hits you in the ass, what do you got? So let me let Kyrie keep going.
It's not poured in the right places. And I woke up with this on my spirit because I had to let it off. You know, this was what was called to me this morning. I don't know what exactly, but this is what has been called for me to share with you guys. The elder generation is saying it's time to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. I'm not going to tell y'all how to live, what to think. But our millennial generation, this is specifically being accountable for us. We can't try to force our thoughts and our ways on anybody else, but we have to know that the right way is already in us. Feel me? That's why you have to be rooted and grounded in who you are. I'll tell you this. This is my last thing before I hop off live. I wake up every single day knowing that my skin color is something that is hated on. My culture is something that has been pushed underneath the rug. They're now changing history to be forgotten about. And that's why I'm saying this generation, this millennial generation, specifically us, if we allow them to cover up all the history and all the things that have happened to our human race and what has been done, we will be doomed. That's all I'm saying. So all the young kids that may not understand it yet, that's fine. You're going to come into this. But to my generation, be better. Be better. Do not get distracted out here. Do not get to a place where you're stagnant. We have a lot of entrepreneurs. We have crypto. We have NFTs. We've redefined art. We have the metaverse coming. We have all these great things coming. You know what I mean? But still, when chaos happens and trauma happens, we revert back to our old ways. They're trying to do everything possible in order to keep us in a low vibrational state. A low vibrational state. If you don't know what low vibrational state of being is, please go look it up. But I'm specifically talking to my generation right now that if we do not teach our kids the truth of this world and what has happened and what has taken place, it will be lost in history. We will be lost. We will be the generation that's lost in history. Black, white, red, yellow, don't matter what color you are, there has been some type of part of your history or our human history that has been erased for purposes that go way beyond our understanding. And I won't tell you that I know everything. I know nothing, right? I know nothing. I'm just a star in the universe. But what I do know is when I'm called to share things and I pop out like this is for intention that goes way beyond, what I can understand physically.
Yeah, and I said this on past shows. When you are awakened and you hear truth, you can't be quiet. I'm sorry. You hear real truth. That's just in my spirit. That's in my belief. Once you know, you share. And that's why sometimes I share some of my old Facebook posts because I was on a rampage at one point. I was going to share everything I felt. And unfortunately, that rubs some people the wrong way. So I don't do it in that format anymore. But I think once you awaken, once you hear truth, once you learn truth, you got to get it out. If not, it's going to eat you alive. So, and unfortunately, when you do that, oftentimes that's when you start to be labeled crazy because they can't understand how you think it so differently than me. But that thing that you witness, that you experience, that spiritual journey that you're going through is real. And I think that you're going to hear it as Mr. Kyrie talks, is that you got to realize how to present it because there's stages of it. It's like you have that first stage, which is like you want to tell everything. Then you have that stage where you're just angry and upset. And then I've seen that angry and upset phase. That rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It's like, who you think you are? What do you? Oh man, you read a book now, this and that. So you got to learn, from this. You got to figure out, okay, how can I present it in the best light so that people will get it? Because even though I am learning all these new things, I got to give people the opportunity to learn it for themselves. So, and how I present it will help them learn it for themselves. So, anyway, let me let Kyrie go.
At times, I understand, spiritually, but don't understand it physically and why I'm put in certain places, but standing tall. But look, I'm gonna end my point here. To my generation and to the older generation, we must bridge the gap, and it's happening now, but we must do it faster. We must do it faster. It's not happening. It's not happening. And the reason why I say it's not happening quick enough is because we had generations come before us and we're still doing the same ish. The same traumatic events are happening in our world. You know what I mean? We had a whole entire shooting in Buffalo and there's no more news coverage anymore on the families. There's nothing. We had people of color die in Buffalo and things took place that still limited the exposure and the coverage because it was based off of pure hatred and it was an act of terrorism, and we won't call it that. I'm just telling y'all the truth right here, because when I say that my generation and the older generation has to bridge the gap, is because our kids are watching everything that we do. They're watching everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? The kids are watching everything that we do. But we want to put them in the metaverse. We want to put them in front of the TV. We want to put them on Instagram. We want to put them on social media so quick. We want to give them the same diseases that we have right now. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting my kids through this system that's designed to.
Definitely. I agree with that. Some of us will accept, like, I am obsessed or I am addicted to social media. I am addicted to my device. And then what do? We turn around and throw those devices in front of our kids and say, here, learn, here, be educated, here, be raised. And if we understand and accept it, like, damn, this is not a good thing. Like, I'm not productive on this thing all the time. Why are we gonna give it to a kid whose mind isn't fully developed? So I agree with Kyrie. Like, we got to do things differently. Like, you've heard people like, um, what's his name? I think Gates or one of them said they won't give their kid the iPad. Or I think it was Jobs said that, Steve Jobs. I won't give my kid the iPad because they understand the damage that it does. But we're just kind of following the same thing. We see the corruptness of certain things in our society, and then we're raising our kids the same way. I think about like college. And I'm not saying college is all bad, but it's like some people are pushing college on their kids when they're in debt and they don't even have a job that pays them enough to live a productive life. It's crazy that we just keep doing the same thing when the examples are put in front of us to say, no, we need to do things differently. So anyway, keep preaching, keep talking, Kyrie.
Distract and demean and destroy character based on race, culture, class. I'm a native and I'm a black man or African man. I had to identify that because that's what was given to me in this Euro-centralized society. I had to identify as a race. I had to identify as a culture. I have to identify what my religion is. But the reason why I'm speaking like this is because to my generation and to the older generation, we can't have this. That's enough talking. We can't have this. This joint can't fly anymore. It can't happen anymore. And I'm called crazy trying to grow up in this Eurocentric society or this society that holds white supremacy over the top of everything, which was created by them. I never created it. How can I be sane in a society that calls me crazy for trying to live a moral, just life, a principle-led life? I didn't grow up seeing color. I didn't grow up seeing, religion and culture, bro. It was taught to me. It was taught to me. I grew up in school with this stuff. I had experiences. So my generation, like we still deal with it a lot, but our older generation dealt with it far more superior than we did just because it was way out in the open. Now it's way more guarded and silent and subtle. All these isms and all these definitions that we put out here. And let me direct it back to my point. I can wake up every single day knowing that the system is right in front of me and I'm making money for the system. The system is what I need to survive, right? But the system also created an image of the way you're supposed to be out here, and that's just not reality. That's not reality. The image that's created of who we should be. Like look on all these social media websites. Is everybody not trying to be the same? Is everybody not trying to be the same on all these social platforms? Is everybody not trying to be famous? Everybody not trying to be liked? Is everybody not trying? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. But y'all want to crucify the people that want to make change.
What's interesting about everyone wanting to be famous, wanting to be liked, get all these views, is that we have example after example how detrimental that is, like how damaging that is, and why do we want it? I think it's because that's what's cool, that's what's trending, like you want to go viral. But at the end of the day, I think that only makes sense if you have a platform or you have a base to be able to manage that virality or that growth that you're experiencing. So it's like we need to take a step back and say, hold up, why am I doing this? I know me, I took 3-4 months off of social media, and it was the best thing that I did because I can now look and see, wait, why do I need that? Like I live a good real life. Why am I trying to show everybody or prove to everybody I'm living a good life? And then me living a good life is not up to the standards of people because I'm not on a boat every day. I'm not on an island with a supermodel. So at the end of the day, like we got to get back to, is my real life good? Am I enjoying who I am? And stop praising and following these things that's not really real. So anyway.
But as soon as some shit pop off, everybody runs back. I don't get it. Everybody runs back to their Twitter, to their Instagram, to their TikTok. Everybody runs back to social. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just runs back. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets changed. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be the only one that's changing this thing, but damn, like millennials, we got to be better. We got to be better. Millennials, our generation, this is for us. And y'all know who I'm talking to. Our generation, 1981 to 1996. That generation and our older generation, I don't want to say older, like age, stuff like that. I'm just saying our more wise generation, our elders ahead of us, they got it. They got us. They're going to protect us. They're going to protect us. But first, we have to reclaim a few things. We have to eat well. That doesn't mean just going vegan. We have to eat well. You have to eat well. You have to treat your body right. You have to treat your mind right. You have to know what you're putting in here. You have to let go of things. You know what I'm saying? You like, I'll give you an example. I had to let go of seeing my ancestors buried in places that have been covered up by lakes. I had to go see museums with nooses around my ancestors' necks. I had to go see lawmakers that are still living today that put a lot of my family members in bondage or in prison or oppress them in some type of way. I had to go see that, and I had to let go of that energy, that hateful energy that I had.
So I talked a little bit about that. You go through stages when you are awakened, and one of them is being angry, upset. Like when you learn the truth. When I first read the autobiography of Malcolm X, I'm saying to myself, why wasn't this taught to me in school? Or when I read The Miseducation of the Negro, I'm like, why wasn't I taught this in school? And I'm like, when I learned the Black Wall Street, when I learned the Juneteenth, when I learned all these things, I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, okay. They didn't want me to know. They didn't want me to know. They didn't want me to know. But then when you learn it, you start to get upset, like, F all these people, forget these people. But you got to understand, you got to be able to manage that. And you got to be able to recognize that it's been going on for a long time. But part of the problem that why you get upset is like, how can you guys, and you're talking to like your people, your community, your culture, like, how can y'all still be moving the same when you know the bullshit that they done to? How can you work for a person that was a slave owner of your people? And so you're trying to rationalize and recognize, like, why? And then I think you got to understand everyone hasn't been woken up yet. So, and he said something, definitely you got to, really, really focus on your health. I always say, if you acquire all this money, do all these things, and your health goes bad, what do you really got? Definitely got to eat right. Definitely got to move, be active, maybe sometimes gym, maybe sometimes yoga or just walking. Got to move, be active. And then you got to feed your mind. Like you said, you got to read. Put that music down. That music is, a lot of that music is destructive. You got to listen to audiobooks. You got to actually physically read books. You got to listen to podcasters and YouTubers that actually inspire and uplift you. All of that stuff matters. So let me let Kyrie go some more. And I'm sorry I sped it up because I got to get up out of here in a little bit. So
in order to move on in this world, to talk openly, because if I didn't let it go, I would have been walking around as what? The angry black man. The angry black man. I had to, that's always the MO. If you're the angry black man, you can't get anything done. So I had to change up my approach and my perspective. Doesn't mean that I'm not ready for war out here, but it just means that I know who my enemy is and why they're doing what they're doing. And the reason why I express these things to you is because the millennials, we have the answers. We have the answers. It starts with our diet. It starts with our spiritual systems. It starts with breaking free out of this matrix, out of this system where you're not controlled by.
So I agree with you, Mr. Kyrie, but I'll challenge you on this. I think that millennials do have the answers, but you got to be willing to be led. The problem with the millennials, because you guys grew up thinking and believing you know everything. Y'all know a lot. Y'all had Google, social media, had so many things that we didn't have for your time. But at the end of the day, you got to be willing to be led. There's a lot of people, like I said, that crossed over. That was a little bit before the millennials. So we experienced life before and then obviously during. We know a little bit. We saw both sides of it. We understand, even though we were lied to about a lot of different things, we understand different aspects of finances that a lot of millennials don't understand. We understand about getting a base, buying land, getting real estate, really, really having an infrastructure. So you can know a lot, you can have all the answers, but if you don't have that base, when things don't go your way, what are you going to do? You're going to run back to the things that you need because you didn't supply them yourself. So millennials have to learn how to be led. That's my problem. My issues with millennials at this point. They have all the answers. I've known someone that just lost a job and you're talking to them leading up to that. Say, listen, you got a network. You got to build a network of people. So when times get bad, you can reach out to their network and they can say, here goes someone talk to this. Then all of a sudden, they got all the answers. Then when they get fired or lose their job, they're like, Can you help me, please? Can you help me, please? And I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. But the reality is, it's not just about having all the answers. It's understanding that I never have all the answers. And I'm going to consistently learn. I'm consistently network. And I'm going to consistently be led and be taught, teachable. So.
You're not run by it. And everybody calls the matrix, the system, whatever you want to describe it as, right? But we wake up every single day and you're not in control, are you? All right, then. You know, so let me round in everything I said. I was gonna do a post. I was gonna do, you know, something the norm, like I was gonna do something like that. But if we don't wake up millennial generation, and if we don't partner with our elders, and if we don't teach our kids the right ways of living, meaning that when they're 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 years.
Kyrie, I hope you mean that. And I do think you do. But I hope you mean that. Partner with your elders. Partners with people that have been there before. Partner with people that have seen the various aspects of life in so many different formats. You know, I think part of the problem, like I said, is the internet, Google, you know, social media platform. It's this false belief that I have all the answers. Nah, man. Nah, Holmes. A lot of things are not going to be put on the platforms for that you need to know. So partnering with elders, partnering with people who know a little bit more is going to help guide all of this anger, incitement, and we ready for war, revolution. It's going to help guide that. So let me keep going.
Old, and when they turn 8 and they go to school, and all of a sudden racism becomes a thing, and all of a sudden like capitalism becomes a thing based on comparison, like who has the most money in the house, all that good stuff that we like to argue about. But I'm saying millennials, if we don't partner with the elders and if we don't take care of Gen Z and the generation that come after, we're doing, bro. We have the power. We are the majority. Y'all keep forgetting that. Y'all thought it was hard for me to stand on what I believe in, but it's not. It just means that you have to be ready to deal with the consequences, whatever comes that way. And again, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to repeat this. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all of them. I won't pretend like I do because there's so much information out there, but I will share this with you. And it's on my spirit and on my heart, and I've meditated on it, I've prayed on it. I'm going to share it in a way that is positively reinforced. I have no hatred for people in my heart. I am a soul bound by this universe to do amazing things. Even if it's small in someone else's perception, is big in mine. It's my life, it's my journey, right? I never was born to see color, culture, class, all these things, right? I grew up in it. But now that I identify with my family lineage and I know where I come from, there's not anything that could really make me go into hiding anymore because I've seen it all. There's new things happening under the sun all the time, but they've convinced you that there's nothing new happening. You feel me? We're stronger together. We are way stronger together. Way stronger together. And the first thing that I want to see out here is all of us being able to have a conversation, right? And I don't say all of us, like it can't happen all at once, but all of us to have a conversation within our households where we address a lot of the stuff that happened in the past without getting too angry about it and leaving the table unheard and hurt. Because I'll tell you this, and again, I keep saying this is my last thing, but look, my ancestors' pain and anxiety and fear is still in my DNA. It's still in the DNA. All the things that my family went through in the past and that I've seen, it went away. And the reason why I shouted out the millennial generation, because y'all feel this. Y'all feel this and y'all know. My generation knows. We grew up a certain type of way and we're trying to change things, but every time we get back pushback, sometimes we give up. It's like, nah, F that. F that.
But once again, Kyrie, I think you understand. You guys go about it and then you get pushed back because you don't have a base. Not saying all. Obviously, I believe you have a base. You have the money. You have backing. You know, which allows you to speak because you do have the platform. You have the following. A lot of the millennials, they can't continue or be consistent with it because they don't have the base. They don't have the infrastructure, and that's what you got to learn. That's what you got to be led. That's what you got to be taught. That yes, we do know a lot. We have a lot of the answers, but we got to keep building. We got to build, and we got to build, and we got to build, and speak out, build, speak out, build. Because at the end of the day, the pushback is going to happen, and it's going to come hard. And if you don't have the infrastructure, if you don't own your mind, your time, you don't own who you are, then guess what? You're going to break down. So.
F that, y'all. Nah, it's find your tribe season. Find your tribe. And not everybody is going to get along. I don't expect that. But what I am expecting is that the millennial generation, when we connect with our elders, show some respect for the wisdom that they have, but do not judge their ignorance. Do not judge them. Do not criticize what they do not know. Share the information. Give them the right portals. And to my younger generation that's watching this, Instagram comments, TikTok comments, living your life on social media and technology is not the end all be all, and that's not real life. It's a part of life, but it's not real life. So as we're fighting this fight, and I say we're, meaning there are races of people, specifically African people, native people around the world that are fighting for their lives based on skin color. And because of that, there is always this veil that's over top of people's consciousness because they would like to keep you, meaning the system would like to keep you distracted physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So all of that being said, my millennial generation, be better, including holding me accountable, be better. We're not letting this world get away from teaching our kids something that don't belong in them. No, we're not. No. We're not letting this system teach our kids what they tried to teach us and tell us that this is the way that the world goes. No, it does not. No, it does not. That's not the way we want it to go. So from 1981 to 1996, my generation, I am one of the responsible individuals that's calling on us to be better. We're having kids, bro. Come on. We're having kids out here. And they want me to be on here talking about the same things that I do all the time. But look, I'm too politically seasoned. You know what I mean? I'm too politically seasoned out here because that's the way I grew up. I grew up in this political system, understanding that power plays all the time. But the real power is when you follow the green. And the green is something that gets defined by all these people that are playing out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The green, the money. But while we're building our own, we have to just be aware that this is part of our conditioning and brainwashing that happened to us. So until we break free out of that, we're still going to see this world as what it's designed to be. But in order to design something better and new in you, got to start with diet, got to start with education. We have to start with ourselves, our spiritual systems. We have to let go of the old mold of being human in this world. Yo, look at the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, 1900s, the 2000s, and they're over here telling us that, oh no, you know, like it's getting better. No, it's not. No, it's not. Y'all saying it's getting better. No, it's not. We have kids picking up weapons and performing acts of violence. We have kids that are angry and depressed and don't know how to let their feelings be known. We have kids that are dealing with real, true, raw emotions, and they're running to social media to vent. The kids are running to social platforms to vent. If we don't teach them about the mind, body, and spirit and these spiritual systems, how do you expect them to learn it? How do you expect them to question authority when they know that the authority is not giving them what's best for them? That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna get too preachy with y'all on this because y'all probably hear this, from different spots, different places, different people. But in my generation, specifically the millennials, diet, health, well-being, forming our own spiritual system, we have the energy to shift this whole entire thing. So until we do that, we're just gonna keep fighting. But I love y'all. I love each one of y'all, and I pray for you guys as my relatives all the time. I pray to Creator and our ancestors all the time. Whether they call me crazy out here in this society, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That, like, being called crazy in America is like, it could make you billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, being called crazy in this insane society at times, like, it doesn't really faze anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Because now at this point, it's either we're doing something to further along our causes and make this revolution work, or we're not. And it doesn't look the same for everybody. Everybody has their own individual journey in this collective consciousness that we have out here. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody. So no, I don't identify as just one thing. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I identify as the truth of Creator because I'm breathing and I'm able to do the things that I do every day, knowing that I don't have control of it all the time. So let's teach our kids about what we learned and how we grew up. Millennial generation. Come on. That's all I'm saying. Sound mind, sound spirit, sound body. To all my youngins out there, please, 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 please pay attention to what some of your older family members or relatives are saying. Your older brothers and sisters, please pay attention to them. Like, that's all. That's all, y'all. That's all.
Well, I'm going to stop it there. Shout out to Mr. Kyrie. Yes. Once again, I applaud Kyrie. I applaud him. I can tell by looking at him. I never watched this fully, but just looking at him, he is learning the truth. He's been awakened. He is crying out in a good way. He's crying out. He's telling you what I'm learning. And he's fortunate. He has money. He has a platform, and he can speak out. And he's not afraid. He's not afraid of the backlash or the criticism, the consequences of it. And hopefully, as I said on past shows, I hope he just continues to keep going, not backing down, with the understanding that he may not play in the NBA again. I said this on one of my other shows. I don't think he's playing again. especially now hearing this, he's gone. He's gone in a good way. Once again, I'm not saying gone in a negative way. I'm saying gone in a good way. He understands that it's bigger than the green, as he says, bigger than the money. So definitely once more time, applaud to Kyrie. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you brought this up because I've been having a lot of conversations at the bar lately. I'm like, damn, man, these young people, they just different. It's like they know they need the help. They know they need the assistance, but they think they got all the answers. And then when things don't work their way, they're crying out for the help and the answers. So I think that my big suggestion and what I would like to share with the millennials, with the younger generation is yes, I applaud you on your confidence. I applaud you on not following the system like we did. We did everything they told us to do: go to college, get education, buy a house, get married, have kids, right? And then a lot of us realized, like, oh man, a lot of this was bullshit. And you guys, you're not doing that. A lot of y'all are not getting married. A lot of y'all are not going to college or getting into debt doing it. So I applaud y'all on y'all ability to kind of watch the things we did and understand some of the things that we were lied to and not follow those same things blindly. With that being said, I do think that what we did learn is about getting your own, having your own building, having an infrastructure. And I think once you add that to your confidence, once you add that to what you already know or think you know, I think it's only going to make you better. And I think it's going to make this world a better place. But definitely everything Kyrie was saying, mind, body, soul, I think that that needs to be the focus. I think that this journey has to be within in our individual homes. It needs to be that person that you see in the mirror. It needs to say, okay, do I own me? Do I own my time? Do I own my mind? Am I thinking for myself? Can I move when I want to move? Can I drive and go to work when I want to go to work? Can I sit in my home and just chill and make money? We got to start thinking about these things. And even if you're not in that position right now, you should be working towards it. But you got to own something. And I don't mean you have to own all these physical assets. You got to own your infrastructure, own who you are, because the moment that they do start pushing back, you're going to say, I'm good. I know how to make my money. I got my own. I'm good. And that's what the goal and the focus should be. So once again, I applaud Mr. Kyrie. I actually got this off Kwame Brown Bus Life page. I know this was played everywhere, but this is where I pulled the video from. But I appreciate everyone that's spreading the message, spreading the words, and spreading the word. And I think that we got to keep it going because one thing that I've learned as being an awoken individual, I hope I'm saying that right, awoken, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Awakened individual. I think that oftentimes for me, I'm hoping for others to just kind of grab onto this and let's make it spread. And then it just all gets kind of dwindled out. The fire gets, it just keeps going out. And I'm like, hopefully, Mr. Kyrie is on to something. He can spark the change in the younger people. It ain't about just rallying. It ain't about just burning up shit. It's about saying, hey, this is what it is. I'm going to work on me. I'm going to get me right. And then we're going to unify. We're going to do this together. And I think once we do that, we will definitely see the change that we need to see. So I'm out. Y'all have a great day. Peace.